It is officially peak week number 2 and I thought we could spend the week together, show you what I'm doing throughout this week leading up to my second ever bodybuilding competition. I don't think I'm ever going to get used to saying those words. I can't believe we're doing a second one for one because this has led on from obviously my last show, which, well, I'll basically fill you in now. It was a qualifier for a European show, a France show. It's actually a pro qualifier, which is just madness. I didn't even know if I'd do a second show at all. I didn't know how I'd find the first one. I absolutely loved my show day. I feel like I learned so much, and with this one being just 2 weeks out from my previous one, it just kind of made sense. Like, I've done months and months of grinding. Of course, want to make the most out of that. I've had like a little bit more time to just prepare mentally, physically, and all of that. So this week, I'm just gonna show you all my preparations, and it should be a really nice vlog actually. I'm gonna test out some different strategies this week, and I feel so much more relaxed. Probably because I've done my first show now, so I kind of know what to expect a little bit more. Like last week, I just felt like a deer in headlights. So just woken up, made my coffee, I'm gonna make my oats and we'll get into it. Keeping to what I said, which was not to fall into the trap of wearing really dark winter clothes. You know, you have a particular bowl that you really like. Well, I had this oat bowl. It's actually a pasta bowl, so I find if you want a really good oat bowl, the pasta bowl size, it's like a 20 centimetre shape, and I swear to God, like, my oats just taste nicer in this specific bowl. I took it with me down to Airbnb when I did my show, and I left it in the dishwasher. Bought it in Spain and it was like sentimental. I messaged at Airbnb and I was like, I'm so sorry, this sounds so bizarre, but I've left this bowl. They replied back anyway and like, oh, we found it, we'll post it to you. Bless them. So they posted it to me, but it arrived. It arrived in bits. It was all smashed. So I have my 60 grams of oats in a morning. This is pretty much the main carb of the day right now. So I'm currently on a low day as we speak. These will actually be my final low days before we carb up. So it's Tuesday when I'm filming this, and my show's on Saturday. We're going to France, and you're gonna come with on Thursday. Need to do some final prep for that today. Just make sure I've done like a bit of an itinerary, because we're taking Matty with us, who is a videographer and photographer, photo professional. This will be a first experience, just so that we can document stuff a bit better. So I'll have some higher carb days, I think maybe tomorrow or Wednesday. I need to send my check-in actually this morning. Make sure you've got a lot of water with your oats if you want a really good consistency. Live your life. I can see the sadness in your eyes. So plan with my nutrition this week is I've got my lower carb days basically. So carbs are, some people have non-existent carbs during like their peak week or like the weeks before. Mine, we still got carbs like my oats, which I'm very happy about. I don't think I could live without my oats in the morning. So got them, and then got some refeed days. So that's just where I like refill everything, replenish my glycogen towards the show so I can like fill up, because right now I feel a little bit flat. Plan of action with my training is, so during this peak week, I've just got 3 sessions. I trained yesterday, which was a lower body day, and then I've just got 2 other upper body days, and reduced my training load by about 30%. So just reduced the weights. Steps I've reduced to 10k a day. So normally that's about 13k, so that's been dropped, and then just dropping off some inflammation. It's so interesting. So my last peak week, I was hormonal as anything. I had like one night's sleep where I must have slept 2 hours, and it really affected me the whole week. And obviously these are things that you can't really control, so there's no point stressing. Same goes if you're just getting a lot of sleep anxiety. Just take the pressure off. Like, maybe don't check like your metric if it's something that's keeping you up at night because you're worrying about not getting enough sleep, because that creates more anxiety, doesn't it? So this time around I'm just a lot more relaxed, which is nice. And I'm not, obviously you want to get things right when you've got an event or like you're working towards something. Quote of the day is, don't worry about how to start, worry about starting now. You know, all these actions we take and how messy everything feels, like even doing this, any fitness goal that I've worked towards, or any goal in general, like even doing a house renovation. For example, when I first bought this house, I remember thinking, oh my God, what have I done? Like, I stepped inside thinking, it's just so overwhelming. Like, every aspect of life always feels messy in the beginning. So if you're working towards something and it feels really far away, just remember that someone else that's on your step 1,000 also went through that feeling. It's just about actually starting, because I think that's what holds us back for the longest time. Certain goals that I've wanted to, like even doing this, I feel like I've actually wanted to do this for a really long time, but I've just not wanted to take that first step. And it's like when you're building a house, or like a builder building a house, it takes years, doesn't it, to build a house, but someone's got to start laying that first brick, that second brick, and then over a year or 2 years, you then have this like huge big house. So just looking at your life a bit like that, because we often just see with social media, don't we? We always see someone's like step 1,000, but you don't really see the journey. And that's also what I want to share more of on here as well. Like, I love taking you with me through the ups and downs. I feel like you've seen me in some of my like lowest lows, and also you've seen some of my wins as well. Every overnight success is either a decade of playing the game or a decade of searching for what game to play. Doing an upper body pump session. So like I said earlier, peak week is just pump kind of sessions, reduce the intensity. I feel like I went a bit too light in my first peak week, if I'm honest. So going slightly heavier, and I'm actually starting with my weaker exercise. I usually do this last, but this is a little hack for you as well. If you have a weaker muscle group or something that you've not trained as much, start with it first, because you're generally that first exercise is pretty good. So I'm doing some cable crunches, literally doing 2 working sets. I've just done a warm-up set and just want to get these abs popping. When I finish my show, one thing I want to build on is my actual core strength, because it's an area that we neglect, isn't it? Like, just doing a few leg raises isn't going to build you a strong core. You need to progressively overload it, just like you want to be training it just like any other muscle group to build actual strength there. Just thought I'd mention. I'm excited to build some strength, you know, after this show, because I've tried to maintain as much strength as possible. I've definitely felt like I just simply can't. I felt the last few weeks just struggling to lift weights that I'd usually not struggle with. There's nowhere to pull from, if you know what I mean. So obviously be eating a lot more and being able to lift a lot more and have better sessions. I'm going on the body comp scanner again. I've mentioned before, but let me just mention again, these are not 100% accurate. The only accurate ones that are like medically very accurate are the DEXA scans. But if you're using like this as your measure of scale, so like the same one each week, it can give you a rough indicator. And it's just been interesting because I've used the same machine. It's slightly more accurate, but lots of variables change it. So for example, I've eaten today, so usually you want to be fasted when you try it. It's coming up to 2 weeks since the first show, and I've definitely lost a little bit more body fat. So it'll be interesting to see what I've lost, and also if there's any muscle differences. So I thought I could compare the two. To details first. Okay, 168 centimeters. I always try to make sure my feet are actually. And then I'll compare it to the other one. That was a really good upper body pump session. I made sure I pushed myself a little bit more, because I think the first peak week I kind of learned, I feel like I went too easy, like I was really lifting very little weight. So Matt from upstairs has just brought this down. It did print off. I think I printed about 4 by accident. Whoops. And after I did my body composition analysis, I thought I may as well go in the cryotherapy chamber because there was no one in, and I just thought, I've not done this in a while, why not do something hard this week and that would also really help with inflammation. In my first peak week I did a body massage, so I thought I'd give this a whirl this time around. So it's kind of similar to, you know how you'd put ice on your face to depuff your face, but obviously this is for your whole body, and I would actually say this is easier than getting in an ice bath, you know, actually immersing yourself in water. Like, doesn't feel as hard, and I would usually do anywhere between 2 and 4 minutes, but I said to the guy, I was like, look, I'm just gonna have to do 2 minutes today because I just thought I feel leaner and I'm obviously gonna feel the cold more so than I would normally with less body fat. So I did 2 minutes, and I definitely noticed it felt like 10 minutes. Like, usually I don't struggle, but this was really hard. Like, I was feeling freezing, and it also took me longer to warm up afterwards, which was kind of interesting. But definitely noticed that I feel like it depuffed, and whenever I do treatments like this, I always notice in my scale the following day it usually decreases, obviously because you've just got rid of kind of any extra toxins. It's Wednesday, oh my god. So we fly, we're going to France tomorrow. You're coming with, of course. I'm so flipping excited, and I was just thinking, have I fully explained what we're doing, where we're going? And I still think I'm kind of not fully all here because I am so excited, but you know when you're so focused on a goal that I'm just focused on that goal, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think I've ever locked in to anything as much as this. You'll have noticed I've barely even mentioned the word like bodybuilding competition, because I just think each day has taught me so much because I've had to be so organised. Like, my time management has improved so much, and Mason was saying the other day, he was like, oh my god, Olivia, you're like a new woman. And I feel, oh god, I feel energetically because I've been really on it with my practices over this past 6 months. Like, I've been meditating every single day, only 10 minutes, and I'm not going to sit here and be like it's something that you need to do, but depending on like your personality type, I just find these practices have literally correlated right to my health. So like my metrics, like my HRV, which is such a good metric for you to try work on improving. It's a really good health metric that you can see noticeable changes from. Practices like your breath work, obviously exercise can increase your HRV, and I can't believe going into this second prep, my HRV is 82, which is crazily high considering when I was doing my marathon training, it had dropped so low. So obviously 2 weeks ago I'm talking like you and me, but you know what I mean. I did my first ever bodybuilding show, which was a qualifier for a France show, and I literally just went in and I said, I'll just see if I even enjoy this first show. Might just hate it and never want to do it again. Like I say, I used to look at competitors and bodybuilding and just think, oh my god, I really respect it, but not for me. And look, this is why you should never say never. So this show was a qualifier for a France show, and got an email the following day obviously saying qualified, but I've got this far, like why not go for it? So that is what we're doing. I did kind of take some time as well. Like, I took 2 days to just fully concrete what I wanted to do. So in this 2 weeks I had obviously this week is my peak week, so it's where you just drop back on sort of like your training and intensity, really similar to a deload week, like just to like get rid of any inflammation, because obviously when you're training hard you get more fatigue, inflammation and this sort of thing, and you want to kind of reduce as much as that so that you are in like peak condition on your day of your competition. And then what I did the week prior, so the week after my first show, I just went straight back into my cardio sessions, 5 Stairmaster usual workouts, and dropped back on the calories. So it was hard and I pushed and I really gave that week my all, and I can't believe the changes. I'll pop on the screen here from my first show to this second show. Like, I'm quite proud of that, and I did the body composition analysis. Now let's go and take a look at it. So analyzer. 26th of November, which was yesterday, and then the 3rd of November is when I did that one. 3 weeks and 3 days between these two. 56.6 kg on the 3rd, and then this will be like my stage weight, so just interesting to have documented somewhere. 54.7 kg. So body fat, it was 13.9% and it's now 8.6. Like, single digit body fat percentages is just madness. And you know what I'm going to say, this is not somewhere that you want to sit at or aspire to for long, but definitely not as a woman. But even as a man, like that is not what you want to maintain. Crazy that I've actually managed that. I honestly never thought I would ever like be capable of something like that, like even once in my lifetime. I've done it very monitored, like every little thing. So let's look at the differences. So my muscle mass has increased because obviously my fat mass has decreased, so 47.5%. Maintain my muscle mass, which has obviously been from a lot of strategy with my food, so keeping really high protein. Like you can drop weight, but you obviously want to maintain as much muscle, and it's all just about losing like a matter of body fat rather than you don't want to lose muscle mass. Protein has been 136 to 140 grams of protein every day throughout my whole prep. Pretty equal muscle mass on each side. But just interesting to have this documented. Like if I was ever going to do another prep again, I'd have something like when I go away, say if I do a season where I put on muscle mass, like I'd have this to be able to compare to, but it's not obviously 100% accurate. Had a delivery. Oh, I was nervous about this because we fly tomorrow and it was ordered on Royal Mail next day before 1 p.m. You already know about what Royal Mail are like. So with the bikini scenario, I tried a rental one and it just didn't fit right. It was going way too far into my actual armpit basically. On stage you're wearing one thing, aren't you, which is a bikini. I feel like it's one of the things that would annoy me is if I was on stage knowing something didn't fit right and was going up my armpit, because it just takes over, and I felt like I was just looking, I looked top heavy because the cup was too big, and I was just thinking, what if there's like a gaping hole somewhere? That is the one thing you're wearing. So I went with another custom black ice bikini which I ordered last time. I wanted a colour that was more on brand with my flowy girlies, and I kind of regretted it last time. I love the red, but that's the colour. Oh my god, I haven't really seen anyone with this colour. So it's not green, it's not blue. Oh my lord. It's more of like a teal. Oh, I love that. I've gone for the exact same cut as my last bikini, the red one, but I got same connectors, and I really loved the fit of the last one, so I didn't want to go like a different brand because I just thought, oh, it'd be so annoying if like something didn't fit the same. Oh, I can't wait to try this on. And then I got the same bikini bottoms. These kind of stretch as well. Look at that colour. That is literally exactly what I was hoping for, to be honest. I'm gonna try that on. This is the first. The Uber's not here yet, and actually ready and waiting by the door. It's Thursday and we're just about to leave for the airport. I'm flying to Paris. We're going to Paris and then we're hiring a car, and it's about a 3-hour drive to Metz where the show is on Saturday. Decided to go today because it made way more sense just with all the preparation tomorrow, which is like getting my spray tan, registering, doing any testing, all of that stuff. And I thought it would be nice just to get a bit settled in, and obviously with the drive makes a lot more sense. I've just washed my hair. I've used the Air wrap to do a bit of a blowout. Let's just hope it kind of stays put, and moisturised my body. And what else? Just been packing. It's been quite a nice morning actually. It's a big kind of carby day, so I've had 2 or 3 meals and it's not even 1 o'clock yet. Basically carbing up today, and my meals I've made. We're bringing beef mince in the suitcase. Let's hope it makes it there. It's like the vacuum packed one, so it should be fine. And I think it's only like an hour and 40 minutes flight. So I will see you in a little bit. Hello my love, it's a Friday. Welcome to, not Paris, I was going to say Paris. Welcome to France. So it's the day before show day and I've just got out of the shower. I accidentally just sprayed myself with loads of water. You know when you try not to get your hair wet and then the first thing you do is just spray spray yourself. We got here late last night, had an absolute shambles. It was such an Instagram versus reality moment. Like this morning I put a picture up, found this Airbnb basically, which is in Metz. Flew from Leeds Bradford to Paris. It was a really nice flight actually. I could see the Eiffel Tower out the window. Got a hire car, drove 4 hours to Metz, which is kind of in the middle of nowhere. Got here I think 10 o'clock and then literally for the life of us couldn't find not only the Airbnb, but it was obviously pitch black, very limited street lights, and we're driving around for about an hour, couldn't locate the Airbnb. It looked like a brown door and it was a green door in the end, basically, to get into the Airbnb, and then couldn't get access to it. So it was a bit stressful and nowhere to park. Then when we got into the Airbnb, I needed to do the everything shower, you know, that exfoliating and shaving shower. And before you get spray tan, you need to obviously do it at least 24 hours before so that your pores aren't open and that I don't end up like looking like a dragon or scaly AF. And I had the existing tan from 2 weeks ago. Sweet Jesus, I can't look at that bathtub. We had no hot water whatsoever. I think by the time we got in, it was like 11:30. To fill this entire bathtub up with kettle, like boiled the kettle, I don't know how many times, walked to and from the kitchen, and then filled up some pots and pans with hot water on the stove. Scrubbed myself for like an hour. My tan, like previous spray tan, was just not coming off, and then shaved my skin, so that wasn't cute. We managed, and then anyway, tried to have a bit of a lie-in. I probably got about 6 hours sleep last night, but we're all good. Just had like my meals this morning, done my little posing routine for tomorrow, and then tonight we've got the show tan, get my registration this evening, get my number and stuff like that. Very excited. And then gonna go for a little mooch, see what Metz is like, and I'm really excited for post-show. Like I'm thinking about post-show a little bit more, as in just being able to be a bit more social, do some nice things other than being so regimented. Like I didn't even go to the food shop with Mason this morning, so I thought, oh, I need to practice my posing, do my check-ins to make sure like everything's looking how it should be. Like it's been a lot this past few months, and I can't wait to fully like debrief you on how much I've pushed myself like in terms of my calories, and kind of share a little bit more details on that. Last night was a moment where I was like, wow, like I'm excited to put on some body fat. It's not that fun being stage lean, which is what people don't really talk about, and not healthy as a woman, like not good for your health long term, and not sustainable. And it's not fun because you are on such low calories to get to that kind of body fat. So I've learned a lot. It's nice to be able to also say that like I'm excited to put on some strength, to put on some size and muscle, and get my personality back a little bit more, because I've definitely felt like a little bit duller. I want to show you around the Airbnb as well. So we've got the whole crew. This is my bedroom, and then we have Matty over here who's going to be shooting this weekend, and we've got Mason who's just kindly done a big food shop.
Yeah, we're stocked up.
Another strategy I'm doing, so I'm not going to use any sauces like I'd usually use ketchup, just to be that 1% more, if you know what I mean, like just cleaner over the next 24 hours, because it's literally a day, so I think it will make a difference too, ever so slightly. Oh, I instantly feel more relaxed just having food in, Mace. It was such a panic last night because we had nothing in, and I had to get like one meal in, and obviously because I've prepped so much for this, it's been months, weeks of just being meticulous, and then I needed to get one more oat bowl in last night, and it was ridiculous, so I had to order just one singular packet of oats, and we stopped at 2 service stations. They didn't have any oats, and I just caught myself thinking, this is ridiculous. Like I'm excited to be more relaxed and not stressing about meal timings and having to be so meticulous. about to step outside, go for a little mooch. Sorted my hair out. It's amazing, isn't it, how much better you feel when you've just rejigged your hair, sorted your face out. I was looking a bit tired this morning. I did some posing practice earlier. You know, honestly, it's such, like, the posing side of this is such an art form. Like, your flow is so kind of unique, like how you move. I was just testing some things out. Basically, my first show, like the last one, I am trying to show more of this delt muscle, and I kind of had my arm too far back. So you've got these like 3-4 mandatory poses, and then it's called the front pose. You're like displaying a smaller waist, this lat muscle, and a little bit of your, not lat, sorry, delt muscle, and then a little bit of your lat, so your back muscle. So it's about creating like an S curve. Hip, hip, and then what I did last time, I had this arm like too far back, like, so we're showing that delt, and then I'm pushing into this thumb and bringing this hip out. So that's what you want to face, like the judges, like that. Pushing into that hip to bring this kind of muscle out more. And this is a second pose, and then I've just made small tweaks. So like to get this to come out slightly more, if I point my knee outwards and like make sure I'm pressing into there, it makes quite a big difference. Send another check-in to my comp coach to see if we need more carbs. I'm quite interested in how this all works, to be honest. I've got 8,000 steps to get today. I've had those 3 meals, so I might overlay this as well. At breakfast, I had my usual oats. I'm feeling very lovely carved up today. And my body's also taking in this food differently to 2 weeks ago when I wasn't quite as lean as this. I can't get over how this is just crazy. I remember years ago, like my ex-stepmom, she used to take, was it diuretics or something, to basically get rid of all your water, and how none of that stuff really matters. Like, it's just whether you're kind of like lean enough on that day. But things that I have done today is that I've taken out just things like balsamic glaze, so just having kind of like more plain food, just so that it's that 1% that might make a difference. But I still have had electrolytes, so flavourings in my water. So it kept everything else the same. And so got my robe and bikini out. I'm going to remember to take as many photos as I can too, and I'll show you around this Airbnb as well. I've also kept water the same, so 3 litres. I think I've had about 2 litres. I'm dead, by the way, at these. I brought these slippers, like my home comforts, with me. This is mine and Mason's bedroom. Very Francais with these high ceilings, which I'm really liking. I wish it was a little bit warmer, but you know, you can't have it all, really, can you? You come through here. This is the living room, which is beautiful. Some nice artwork. This is what sold me when I found it on Airbnb. Mason's been putting in some hours today. A little courtyard out here. Flowness journal. I brought a new one with me. I'm going to do a little bit of journaling, I think, tonight, and we're going to probably just chill later on. We got food shopping earlier, so I'm feeling quite at home. Like, that's one thing that I quite like about an Airbnb. Just feels like home away from home rather than a hotel, and especially because I've needed to cook my own meals. That's what I need to do, prep meals for tonight. And then there is like another room in there. It's a little bit spooky. Like, when we did come in last night, we were thinking, I hope it's not haunted. And then bathroom, which is quite nice, although I feel like this bathroom is giving PTSD for me. Tan is done. Now I can actually relax. I can't wait to get in early now. I decided not to tan my face this time, and I think it was a good decision because I looked flipping crazy last week, and I feel like my tan stuck to all my dry patches, like around my nose and mouth. So yeah, that went well. Did get there really late to my actual tanning appointment because we couldn't find the flipping place, and it was so hard to find. But it was a much better experience because I knew what to expect this time round. Like, there was no shocks and surprises, which I'm glad, because last time I honestly left, I felt traumatised. I just didn't know what to expect. And got my number. I cannot get over this. 442, and my last number was 244. What on earth? And these, like 444 are numbers that I see a lot of, and I feel like it's just a sign, to be honest, like that you're on the right path, because they're angel numbers. I'm gonna have a big bowl of oats now and just relax and watch a movie. I'm really excited for tomorrow now. It's actually slept so much better than I did the last time round. I probably got to sleep about 11 and woke up at 7:10, so excited. Hello my love. Oh my gosh, it's show day and already I think this is my favourite show yet because I feel so much more like myself today, like nowhere near as flustered as my first show, just because I've got that first one out of the way. I'm quite a chilled morning and going for my makeup done at 12. I think it's better because this show is kind of like later on, so it's the women's division starts around 2 o'clock, so I think I'll be on possibly anywhere from sort of 5, 7, 10 p.m. I don't know, just depends how it runs, but it's also a regional show and a pro qualifier, so I imagine there'll be a lot of people in different categories, and it was quite busy at the registration yesterday, so again, not really too much, don't know what to expect, but I'm just happy because I feel like I've brought like the very best version of me today. I literally have poured my heart and soul and everything into just this past few weeks and months, and that's all you can only ever be your best, like literally me versus me, not anyone else, and that's the main thing. So whatever happens, but I know I've brought my best, if that makes sense, and that's all you can ever do as well. Like, it's pointless comparing or whatever to anyone else but yourself. So just wanted to share that as well. If you ever find yourself just being in like comparison loops or thinking about anything else, just bringing it back to you and being 1% better each day. Like, that is what I always try and remind myself. I know it's easier said than done sometimes, but it goes a long way. Just had my coffee, which is my only coffee of the day. I was going to have my usual instant coffee, and I was like, no, if I'm only having one coffee, treat myself to the machine one. And then I've just done some journaling. I'm going to do meditation. I've brought my crystals with me, of course. These come with me absolutely everywhere. And then I'm just going to have a quick look and decide what makeup. I'm going to change up my makeup from last time and go for a bit more of a bold eye, I think. You have seen me go through all the different stages in this video, and now we've got a full face of glam on. Going to wrap this video up here. I can't wait for you to see the show day vlog. Oh my goodness, it's been an incredible week. Yeah, it's been a long week, but I just wanted to say thank you for being here, and I appreciate you. I can't tell you how much your support means over this past few weeks, months. Your messages really mean a lot, so thank you, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.